Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. If you noticed a little glow up in the intro, why, thank you. We're keeping things snappy and spirited, just like today's guest. I'm so excited to introduce you to Elizabeth Pelly, artist, entrepreneur, and co-owner of Merrie Mill Farm Vineyard, one of the unforgettable stops on our upcoming wine camp retreat in Virginia wine country. Elizabeth and her husband moved from London to Keswick, Virginia, with a wild dream to buy a farm, plant a vineyard, and build a space that's equal parts art gallery, wine destination, and community hub. In today's conversation, she shares what makes Virginia wine so special, how they created an experience that feels more like a home than a tasting room, and why every corner of Merrie Mill has a story to tell, including a taxidermy sea lion named Chantal. Yes, really. If you're coming to wine camp this July, get ready. We'll be visiting Elizabeth's gorgeous vineyard in person. And if you're not on the list yet for wine camp updates, girl, what are you waiting for? Head over to pennyforyourshots.com/winecamp2025 and get in on all the juicy details. For now, let's pour a glass and dive into my chat with Elizabeth Pelly of Merrie Mill Farm and Vineyard.
Hey, Penny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well, thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too. Wonderful. So, Elizabeth, I'm so curious about your background. I read on your website that you and your husband were attending a wedding, right, in Virginia?
Yeah, exactly. My husband, Guy, is English, and we moved here from London. So there's often the common misconception that we're both English because we did move here from England. But I was over there doing part of my master's degree at Sotheby's Institute of Art. And I met Guy, and I was meant to stay for 3 months, and I stayed for 6 years. So that's what we were doing in England. And then we had just had our first daughter, and I went to UVA as like,
okay. Nice.
Going back to the real roots of why we're here. I went to UVA, but we had a UVA friend of mine got married. And Guy and I flew over with our sort of 6-month-old at the time. And the wedding was at Castle Hill, which is like 5 miles down the road. It's really close to where we are right now, where we live. It's a cidery. And Guy, my husband, just fell in love with Virginia. And he was kind of like, why have you never brought me to this part of America? It's beautiful. It's not European history, but when it comes to American history, it's the hotbed and, the most historic place, really rich in history. And it's really reminiscent of the English countryside, the rolling hills, the fox hunting. My husband grew up fox hunting and riding horses. So there's a lot of similarities between this area. Not to mention Keswick is an English word, and they pronounce it Keswick. So it's taken my husband all of 6 years to say Keswick when his friends go, Keswick, what do you say? So he started this whole idea. It was not me. People ask me all the time, how did you convince your husband to move to America? And really, I loved being in London, and I thought we were going to be there for, maybe forever. And he said, let's do this. The wine thing in Virginia is really interesting. I think we should buy a farm and plant a vineyard. And I thought he was absolutely crazy. And I told him, and he found this farm, Merrie Mill. He found it online. And he said, let's go back and look at this farm. And I said, no way, I'm not going back. But, you go knock yourself out, go see the farm. And then he came back in October to meet with some estate people and land managers. And then we were in America for Thanksgiving at my home in Tennessee, my parents' house. And he said, you have to come see this farm. So we took a little side trip during Thanksgiving. And I said, wow, it's great. And we moved, it was less than a year from the wedding and the first time guys stepped foot in Virginia when we moved to Keswick.
Wow.
Um,
That's
and that's, we,
fantastic.
we planted the grapes in 2018.
Okay.
Um, and then we did a very long renovation on our house, which was built in 1857.
Mm,
Um, and we built the tasting room and opened everything up, opened doors in May of 2021.
wow. Whirlwind.
It's been a lot. And we had a child in between all that time, and then we had
Yeah.
another. So we've done a lot in a short amount of time. And a lot of times it really felt crazy and what are we doing? And sometimes it still does, you're like, okay, I hope we made the right choice. But it's really, it's a beautiful place to live. And I wanted to create something different than the other wineries, and I think I have accomplished that. So I hear that a lot, and that brings me great joy to know that I've created something just a little bit different and a little unique to the wine world here.
Nice. Well, and for my listeners who may not know, a lot of my listeners are in the know about Wine Camp, and many of
Mhm.
them are coming and going to be visiting your winery, which we're very excited about. But for those that don't know, we have Wine Camp coming up. It's a retreat that my partner Robin and I hold every year. This is our second year, so I
Great.
can say every now.
Good.
But yeah, we're coming in July 25th to Merrie Mill Estates. Is it called Merrie Mill Estates,
Yay.
Merrie
It's
Mill Farm
called
and Winery
um it's called Merrie Mill Farm and Vineyard.
and Vineyard? Okay. And it's gorgeous, and we can't wait to see it. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show is because, well, first of all, I love lifting up female entrepreneurs.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being on. It's amazing. I mean, you are very artful
Thank
and
you.
you
I
have
was just, I was
taken,
actually I was a studio art major at UVA. So
okay.
art's my background, and that's also why I that's why I was in London as well for
Oh, cool. Yeah.
studying art and museum studies at Sotheby's. So
Ooh,
that's my background, and I've been able to harness that creativity into my design work now.
yeah. Wow. Well, the pictures online are stunning. The tasting room and, well, even the whole property. I mean, you look out over the
Thank
vineyards
you.
and over the
I can't wait for you to
mountains.
see it in person.
I know, me too. Yeah, we're gonna have a wonderful time, and I know the ladies are gonna just absolutely love it. So,
Well, I hope so. That's the point. But I'll tell you a little bit about our mission and who we
yes,
are.
please.
Is we're really, I kind of call it trifold. So it's about the wine, definitely about
Hmm.
the wine. We want to create great, amazing quality wine, good wine. We want it to be inclusive wine. We want it to be casual drinking wine. We want you to enjoy it now, enjoy it in a few years, but don't take it too seriously, right?
Hmm.
It's fun, it's for everyone, and we've got great soil, which I'll tell you about. So we're able to make a really high quality wine, and that is one of the sort of pillars. The other pillar is the experience, the space that I've created. So it's about the space too. It's the tasting room is really an extension of my home. That's the way I looked at it when I was designing it. There's soft furnishings, there's wallpaper, there's personal artwork, and lots of different mix of modern and eclectic, modern and antique, and different styles. There's lots of color, there's lots of pattern, there's lots of texture. I am a maximalist. More is more. So we want you to enjoy that space and enjoy the grounds and the property that we've created. And the third thing we want to do is host events for the community. So we're
Mm,
really community focused as well. We do a art festival twice a year, an art festival and a book fair, and we do that twice a year. We do a British vintage car show once a year. We host a holiday market, an outdoor winter holiday market in December with mulled wine and fire pits.
mm.
And we host an outdoor performance series every other year with the Charlottesville Ballet. They bring a mobile stage to Merrie Mill and they do
Wow.
a series of 3 days of outdoor performances. And they partner with the Charlottesville Opera, and they partner
Mhm.
with uh, the chamber singers and the Oratorio Society and the symphony. And they do 3 days of like really magical outdoor performances, bringing the ballet to us, bringing the ballet
Mm.
to people that might not have access to it, or bringing the ballet to just a different place.
Mhm.
So we are working on other fun events. We're partnering with Land Rover. Actually, our art festival is tomorrow,
Oh,
and then on
wow.
Sunday we're partnering with Land Rover, and they're bringing a bunch of vintage Land Rovers and new Land Rovers, and they're going to let people test drive, I think, the Land Rovers around the farm, which don't know.
Wow.
That makes me nervous drinking and driving, but you know. So we did a wine lunch during. There was a, I don't know if you were familiar, but there was a Women in Wine Month. I think it was in March. It just happened, and we hosted. It was in March, and we hosted because my winemaker is a female, Emily Hodson,
Mhm.
who comes from Veritas. So Emily and I hosted a wine lunch and a tasting where it was one of those things where I was like, this is going to be so embarrassing because we're probably not going to sell any tickets, but whatever. And we sold out immediately. And it was so wonderful that people want to come and hear your story and they want to come
Yes.
and hear it straight from you. So that was great. And we might do more of these wine lunches.
Awesome.
We did a build your own bouquet workshop for Mother's Day. So we really want to do events that engage the community
Mhm.
and that, you know, obviously get people to Merrie Mill, but also
Mhm.
it, create a space for them to do something new or to experience a farm outside of just eating and drinking. So
Mhm.
that's kind of what we're about. So I hope when you're there, you'll, we won't have an event going on, but you'll take in and understand like this space is really important to the experience.
Yeah, we're bringing our event to you. So
Yeah, exactly.
wonderful. Well, yeah, I think we sell ourselves short so often that we think that, oh, nobody would want to do that. Nobody would want to hang out with me, but it's
I
just
was like,
so important
no,
to
it's
build
it's
community.
fine. Nobody even knows that we're hosting this event, so it won't be so embarrassing when we don't sell any tickets. And suddenly we're like, have a wait list of people that wanted to join that couldn't. So I'm glad to know that, and we will do more of these things. And it was really educational too. Emily did a great. We just tasted the reserves.
Mm.
So we make 10 wines a year, and
Mhm.
8 of them are kind of our core series. It's a rosé, a white blend, a Viognier, a Petit Manseng, and then a red blend, a Petit Verdot, a Cab Franc, and a Merlot. And those are
Mhm.
our core series. And we do two extra special wines that are our reserve series. So they're aged a bit longer, and
Mhm.
they are more premium. And they're called the Rock Tree Chardonnay and the Calaboose Cab Sauvignon. So
Mm.
with Emily, we just tasted the Rock Tree and the Rock Tree and the Calaboose, and she went into all the technical notes about the wine and the
Mhm.
grape and when we harvest and when we do this, and people had great questions to ask both of us. They wanted to know about the history of the farm and they wanted to know about the viticulture. So it was a really fun celebration of women in wine.
I love it. I'm going to have Emily on the show soon too. So listeners,
Oh,
stay tuned
great.
for that. Yeah,
I'm so
she's
glad that I
scheduled and
connected
everything.
you guys, but I didn't see
Yes,
where it went. So I'm glad it went
yes.
somewhere.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to chatting with her and talking
Mhm.
to a female winemaker. I'm a
And
little
she's just
prejudiced.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, she's the head winemaker for you and for Veritas as well, as part of the
Yeah.
Veritas
And she's been
family.
doing it for 20 something years.
Yeah.
Um, we are really close with the Hodsons because when we started this crazy idea, we enlisted the help of George, her brother George, and he was
Mm.
he was our consultant about, where should we put this and what should we do that and how big does this need to be and really, do we really need a bathroom here and how big should the parking lot be? And he was doing it for so long. We finally said, George, we need to pay you. Like it started out as a nice favor, but like now we really need to pay you because you are offering such a great consultant service. And now Emily's the winemaker. So we love the family. They love bringing great wine to Virginia, and it's not all about them. It's a rising
Mhm.
tide floats all boats. So we're really pleased to have been able to benefit from their years of experience. And Emily has never made a Cab Sauvignon because they
Oh,
don't have
really?
the soil over there. So she made
Okay.
Cab Sauvignon here, and I can tell you a little bit about her soil. But I just wanted to point out that she won a gold medal at the Governor's Cup for her first Cab Sauvignon she's ever made,
Hmm.
and that's incredible.
Amazing.
We have this soil. It's called Manteo, Manteo, and it's not the Virginia red clay, which everybody's got, and everybody makes great wine on. And that we do have two of our acres are the Virginia red clay because they're right by the tasting room. But 10 of our acres, and we're now planting three more, are
Oh,
up on a ridge, and it is Manteo soil, which is really rocky and well draining.
mm.
So
Wow.
the grape doesn't want to sit in water. The vine wants to search
Hmm.
and try and find the water, and it wants to struggle. It's like a metaphor for life.
Oh.
The harder the struggle, the stronger the vine, and the better the fruit. So they
Yeah.
love this soil, and it. She took a big handful of it home, and it's sitting in a jar in her desk because she just couldn't believe what she was seeing. That all this like great rock in the soil. So
Mhm.
that was kind of like we struck gold with that soil. So we have decided, as we're growing, we've had to buy in some grapes from other vineyards, and this could be either demand or damage from the
Oh.
fruit for frost. So we've
Mhm.
decided to plant three more acres, which will allow us to use our, as much as possible, only our estate grapes.
Nice. That's very cool to be able to say that. That's really big.
Yeah.
Now, was Guy
Yeah.
in the wine industry before, or how did you segue into wine? Hello, friend. Let's be real. When's the last time you did something just for you? Enter Wine Camp 2026. We're talking wine tastings, fire pit chats, sunset dinner cruises, and zero cooking required. Just show up, sip something fabulous, and reconnect with the version of you who loves adventure, sisterhood, and a glass of local Riesling in hand. Sweet, dry, or both. No judgment here. We're heading to New York's gorgeous Finger Lakes, July 31st through August 2nd. And yes, it's as dreamy as it sounds. Secure your spot at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp. Don't wait, room options are limited, and my crystal ball says we're going to sell out. Bring your besties or fly solo like the fabulous free spirit you are. You'll leave with new favorites either way. Wine Camp 2026 is calling. The only question is, are you in? Find out more at pennyforyourshots.com/wine camp.
This idea segued us into wine. Just
Oh,
okay, we're
wow.
going to do
This
this.
romantic notion.
We're going to plant this vineyard, so we better learn a little bit. So we both started a course at Christie's, the auction house.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a big wine component, and this is when we still lived in London, and so we started this 8-week wine course to just really knock out as much knowledge as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And about week 2 or 3, I found out I was pregnant. And not only was I not I could taste the wine, right? And it's fine. I
Uh-huh.
did not want to taste the wine. I did not want to smell the wine. I was like,
Oh,
I quit the class. So Guy finished the course on his own. And from then it's just been a real learning curve. So we've been learning as we go.
wow. Yeah, that I can
And I'm
imagine.
I'm I'm a big big believer in if you don't know how to do it, find someone who does and learn from them or
Yeah.
get them to do it for you, right? Like we
Bring
don't
them
want to
on
make
board.
wine. That's not where our skill set is. So
Hmm.
we do, it's called custom crush. Emily makes the wine for us. We know where to put our focus um and that makes a whole lot of sense to us. I have no desire to make wine. I have a
Yeah.
desire to
That's
build a venue that people want to be in. And I have a desire to, that hospitality aspect is a real desire. And I have a desire for our wine to be great. And we're really
mhm.
involved in the winemaking process. So we do tastings with Emily, and she'll say we kind of we are influencing the taste direction. More oak, less oak. We should put more of Petit Verdot in the blend and less of the Petit Manseng in that blend. So we taste and we inform the way the direction's going, and that could be personal taste preferences, or it could
Hmm.
be what do our customers want, and
Mm-hmm.
what is selling and what is not selling, and um, so there's a lot of different
It's a
aspects that go into
process.
it.
Yeah, it's a real process. I live in Iowa a little over half the year, and
Okay.
our wine industry here, um, what was selling 20 years ago was just sweet wines. People
Oh yeah.
loved,
People ask for sweet wines a lot here. And
yeah,
we don't have sweet wine, but you know what? The Petit Manseng is the closest thing to kind of off dry. And so
uh-huh,
we take that into consideration, and we say maybe we should have, put less of the Petit Manseng in the blend and have more single varietal Petit Manseng, because it could check that box for a customer who wants
if someone comes
sweet
in or
wine.
a group comes in and you have somebody that likes
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a pendulum. So you swing, you start with something sweet and you move into something a little bit drier, and soon you're loving them all.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you really have to kind of educate your palate, or the more you taste, the more you learn what you really like and what goes well with the
Exactly.
foods that you like and what you enjoy. And yeah, that's
Exactly.
wonderful.
This is the Petit Manseng made me think of this. It's a little off topic, but I don't know if you read, there's a really great New York Times article that came out this week. Virginia, you know that there's the phrase Virginia is for lovers.
Yeah,
Do you know that phrase? Yeah.
I
So
do.
the
Uh-huh.
article title is Finally, Virginia is for wine lovers.
Oh, I love it.
And the article talks about this mentality that, Virginia now has its own identity, which is really great because for a while there we were, years ago trying to be California, trying to emulate the French, trying to do and now there's been enough experience and enough time
Hmm.
has passed, and enough we've put in the hours, and we're not trying to be anybody else but who we are. And I think it's a great place for Virginia wine to be in its own identity and really recognized for doing great things in the wine industry. Because you think
Absolutely.
about people probably turned their nose up at Australian wine 50 years ago, right? Like, what?
Hmm.
Wine from Australia? It's not from Italy or France, and Chilean wine, all these things.
Yeah,
But we're gaining great momentum. And I think Virginia wine is gonna start to be recognized um, better and better as we continue to produce great products and as we continue to create a really inclusive, wonderful environment and industry.
right. Right. And to find what really works there, because certain grapes, like you were saying, don't grow in certain soils and certain climates. So finding what works for you in your area, like Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc are really well known there, right? Really well
Yeah,
done.
and Viognier as well.
Yes.
So it's these Bordeaux style French wines that really
Yeah.
do well in this climate. Also, understanding our limitations, like we're never going to be
Mm.
organic. We can't do it. Our climate, the
Right.
humidity. You have to, it might not be bugs you have to spray for, but you have to spray for some of those bacteria and the things that
Yeah.
can really damage the fruit. And so I think it's check out the article before you come this way, because I think it'll be
Yeah.
really interesting for you to read.
Okay. I'll share that with our group too, for sure. And the whole organic notion, it's buzzy. I mean, people are talking about wanting to be more pure and more natural, more
Yeah,
organic. And that's great. But I don't think people realize how intentional farmers and vineyard owners
yeah,
are actually, they're very careful with not only what types of chemicals they use or what types of things that they need to use for vineyard management. They're stewards of the vines
yeah,
and of the soil. They're not going to over
exactly. We want them to be healthy vines. We don't want,
exactly.
So, and you're right, organic's a buzzword, and sometimes it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Oh, I'm getting thirsty just talking to you.
I know. I was like, I should have had a glass of wine while we were chatting. Would
I
that would have
know
been
this
better?
was a missed opportunity on our part.
Uh-huh.
It is earlier in the day though, so happy hour will
Yeah,
begin
it's
soon.
only 2:30.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh gosh. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your the tasting room because it sounds gorgeous. It looks gorgeous online.
Yeah.
How did
It's
you furnish it?
I I had a decorator that was helping me. And we always chat like, how do you we were like, what do you think our relationship is? Is it you doing more of me? And we really both agree it's 50-50. She brings 50% of the ideas to the table. I bring 50% of the ideas to the table. She um orchestrates, she puts all my ideas into reality, right? I don't know
Okay.
how much fabric to order for a drape or how much wallpaper to order for a wall. But I wanted it to feel like a home, like I said earlier, just a comfortable place that is different. And someone who came in early days, just having a look around, someone else in the industry said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're putting wallpaper in the bathroom. Aren't you worried that's going to get ruined? And I can't believe you're putting a rug down here or that sofa's white. Aren't you worried?" And you know, I wasn't, and then I thought, should I be? And listen, people for the most part are really respectful,
That's good.
um, and I love the tasting room. There's a lot of color, there's a lot of texture. I've got a sea lion hanging from the ceiling. This is a taxidermied sea lion, and she raises a lot of eyebrows. She's floating on big pink balloons. And the story, her name is Chantal, and the story of Chantal is I love animals. I love to to look at animals, and I love to share their beauty. So that's why I have the taxidermy I have, and it's all old. And Chantal's story is really great. If you look and make sure you look when you're here, if you look
Okay.
up under her belly, she
Uh-huh.
has really obvious stitching on her flippers and on her down her belly. And she was done in the last quarter of the 19th century in the Victorian era, so like 1875. So we are celebrating Chantal, and she is hanging in the tasting room, and she's fun, and it's a great photo op. Um, and the other thing that gave me inspiration for my design was in my art and museum studies course, I learned about sort of the precursor to museums. And the precursor to museums were these cabinets of curiosity. So, in
Mm.
the Victorian era, people would go traveling with their trunks and they would collect artifacts and souvenirs from all the places all over the world. And they'd come home and display these really exotic, interesting trinkets. And it was often in a cabinet of curiosities. So I have a lot of things to look at. There's a lot to look at. I've got these beautiful bird cages with these tiny, really meticulously, beautifully painted birds, and they wind up and they tweet, and it looks like the
Oh,
bird's tweeting.
wow.
I've got, personal artwork, things I've collected. One of the prints, I spent a semester abroad when I was 20 years old in Avignon, France, and I bought
Mm.
a wine map of France,
Oh,
20 years ago. And I pulled it out of, thank goodness my mother saved everything and I have it all. I pulled it out of an old folder and I said, I'm going to frame this. It's in the tasting room now. 23 years ago when I bought it, I had no idea it would go
yeah.
anywhere. We have a painting
Wow.
above the fireplace of my husband's great great grandfather. Um, and we have pictures of his other grandfather, his great grandfather, and his grandfather doing really, one of them's fly fishing on a horse in Scotland. It's just a beautiful scene. And we, above the tasting bar, we have these stained glass windows that my mother-in-law had in her attic. And she said, does anybody want these stained glass windows? I don't know what in the world I'm going to do with these stained glass windows. One of them has the Pelly signet, which is an elephant and a crown, and the initials JPG. So these windows, these stained glass windows that nobody wanted in the family. And that's John Gurney Pelly. That's Guy's father's initials. So they're family heirlooms, but nobody knew what to do with them. And I said, I will do something with them. Box them, crate them up, and send them to me in Virginia. And we're hanging them above the tasting bar near a window so they catch some light. And it's just interesting things. It's interesting historic things. Everything has a story. When we hired our first team of tasting room associates and we were giving them kind of the first intros to their job, I started by talking about the tasting room, and my husband had to stop me and say, Lizzie, we only have an hour. You have talked for 45 minutes. And so I could go on and on about everything in there has a story, and that's special to me. I hope you'll appreciate and love it. And it's not everybody's style. I know that. You might not want to live there, but I hope you want to enjoy a few hours there.
While we're there, for sure. Well, and wouldn't it be fun to do an event that was like maybe a scavenger hunt for find this particular artifact? Or
that is so funny you say that. There is somebody, I think, who's done something similar to that. And I can't remember, but this is jogging my memory. And I think maybe something has happened. But I thought at one point of doing a detail of the day on my Instagram,
Nice.
And to be totally honest, I've got so much on my plate, and Instagram I need to be better at it, but I'm not that great at it.
I get it. Yeah, it's a
But
lot.
there's a lot I could do. But I started making a list of the detail of the day. What could I put on this, and if highlight some special thing in the tasting room and tell its story.
Yeah.
But we have told this story to a lot of, to all of our staff. So people ask questions a lot, and sometimes they'll come to me and say, hey, people keep asking a question about that. Can you tell me the history or the origin?
Nice. Yeah. I know it looks so, it just looks like I'd want to go and look for all the details. I saw the elephant on your website, and now knowing the story behind it is so cool.
The sea lion.
No, the elephant and your the art, the crest.
The crest. Yeah. I was like, oh no, it's not an elephant hanging from the ceiling. I hope you know that.
Well, I saw the seal too.
That's my it's the Pelly family crest, is the elephant in the crown. Which I think my husband probably has a signet ring he's never worn with it. But it's cool. It's just fun to draw those really personal things into the message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of my girlfriends is really into elephants. She's going to love that.
I'm glad.
Yeah. I just, we're so looking forward to coming and visiting and seeing all the things and tasting all the wine.
Thanks for choosing us to be one of your stops. I really am. We're really thrilled. I can't wait to hear the after thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I can't wait to talk to Emily either. She's coming up soon on the podcast, and
I'm so pleased you're talking to her. She's got so much knowledge, and she presents it in a really easy to understand way. It's never she makes it very accessible. It's not it can be really complex. And she's like,
oh, absolutely.
Really, the name of that chemical is C9124218, but so it's chemistry. It is. He's a scientist.
Right. Yeah. It's part science and part finesse, part love, part romanticism. It's just, you have to have a really good palate, which I feel like women have very good palates, are pretty, I'm prejudiced, but I feel like women have a better palate for tasting some of the nuances of things that you really want to put in the wine and that you want it to represent or express. And it's just, it's an art, but it's also science. Yeah. I can't wait to talk to her too.
It is very scientific. I'm always like, wow. And she'll get excited about, I put a little different. I put, a yeast called, B18.3 in this one, and look at, like, can you taste the difference? And you're like, wow.
Yeah. Would not have known it's yeast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice. So what have I not asked you that you'd love to share with our group or with
My gosh,
anyone listening?
I think I shared a lot. I mean, I also own a shop in town, in Charlottesville
Oh,
called Feast. And so Feast is a gourmet grocery store and a cafe. And I bought Feast 2 years ago, and there's some really great synergies between the two businesses. So we sell, there's a great wine selection at Feast. So now we're selling the Merrie Mill wine at Feast. And it's the only retailer we have. Everything else is direct to consumer for, on site or wine club. That's the only way you can get our wine. Except now you can buy it at Feast. And then
okay.
Feast makes really great food, super high quality, wonderful ingredients and products. So most of the Merrie Mill menu is now coming from Feast.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
great synergy between the two businesses. It keeps me very busy. But I was really pleased because it really upped Merrie Mill's food game. And we started, being able to serve really a much better quality product, and more interesting flavors. So hopefully you'll be trying some of that.
Yeah,
Oh, you are.
absolutely. Yes,
You're
we
doing the
have.
hummus and the pimento cheese.
Yes. Yep. We're doing a
So
couple
both
different
of those we make
platters.
we make both of the hummus and the pimento cheese we make at Feast and sell it at
Nice.
Feast. So if you guys are
Okay.
in town in Charlottesville, you could pop by and check out the shop because it's got some
Yeah.
really, really cool products. I think I like being unique, right? Having the unique tasting room, doing something a little different. And at Feast, I like to stock products that you might not see anywhere else. And you might not even know
Mhm.
what they are at first, but we, hopefully also educate you to how to use these products or
Mm.
encourage you. Our tagline there is feed your curiosity. So encourage you to try a new flavor or cook with a new product, or try a different wine or, so that's sort of the two things that, other than my three children, those are the things that keep me busy.
They're all kids, right? They're these
Oh yeah,
projects
there.
that you're nurturing and bringing up and
Exactly.
yeah.
And then,
So many.
hope you'll learn about our wine club. We've got a great wine club. Um, Unfortunately, we can only ship to DC and Virginia right now. Every
Okay.
state is a separate ABC shipping license, and it's just
Yeah.
a real, it's a real
Yeah.
thing. So we might broaden our shipping capabilities, but right now we can't. So I'm not sure where your ladies are coming from and whether wine club makes sense for them or not. But
Yeah.
we host wine club dinners, for we host pickup parties and
Oh, nice.
have a ticketed really nice dinner. And it's, again, we get 100 people. We have to host two dinners at pickup now because we're getting so many people that want to come to these dinners, and it's a great community. And I meet people who say we are so close now when we met here 3 years ago, at during a wine club dinner or whatever. So it's fun to see how something I've created has brought people together.
Yes. Wine brings people together.
Yeah, I think it definitely, and
Wine and a
food,
good
wine and
time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I keep thinking too that you're a boutique style winery and you're very at, near the beginning of your starting
yeah.
phases of growth. So it's really going to be exciting for those of us coming to be a part of
Hmm.
that and to kind of watch your
Yeah,
growth
I
as
mean,
you go.
we 21 was our first vintage, so
Yeah, it's pretty
we're
new.
now starting to drink 23, and 24 is working its way up. It's ready.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and a lot of people, our group will know we're wine drinkers. We love our wine. So a lot of people though don't necessarily know that okay, wine you don't just pick the grapes, turn it into wine and drink it whenever, like now it's ready.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works. So you have to age it a
Yeah,
certain
it's a
amount of
process. It's
time.
a real process. And sometimes it gets really confusing because you're like, all right, it's the year 2025. So what grapes are in barrel? Okay, the 24 grapes are in barrel, and then what's in bottle? Okay, 23 is in bottle. So sometimes
Yeah.
I get like I have to check myself about which vintage are we on.
Uh-huh.
But actually, this is interesting. Just we opened in 2021 intending to sell our 2020 vintage. But in May of 2020, we had a frost on Mother's Day. It was the latest frost in something like 100 years. And we lost 80% of our harvest. So we
Gosh.
didn't even pick. We lost a whole year. And
Mm-hmm.
the good thing is when there's no fruit on the vine focuses on the vine. So it just made the vine
Mm.
that much stronger. But we had no wine. So we opened our tasting room selling somebody else's wine. So for a year,
Wow.
we sold a different
Pivot.
table wine in our tasting room and till our wine was ready. And you pivot when you need to pivot. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't our intention, but we handled it. And, it's just weather, right? We're beholden to Mother Nature.
Nothing you can control.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
been a really recurring theme among so many of the entrepreneurs that, you have these things that come up that you can plan till you're blue in the face
Oh,
and
yeah.
have all your ducks in a row, but some things come in and you just need to be able to think on your feet and be resilient
Yeah.
and
And pivot
yeah.
and pivot and tell the story. Whatever the story is, tell the story.
Yes.
It might be a different story now.
Yeah, exactly. Get on the other side of it. But, and for so many, it's just hard to get there. You might have limited funds or you might have, not the right resources or timing, or it's just difficult for people to get from here to there and you can't
Exactly.
see the end of it when you're in the thick of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't. You're just like can't see the forest through the trees, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's why we have wine to drink.
Exactly. To calm us down and just
Help
make it
us
all
get through
seem
it.
okay.
That's right. Get through it. And friends,
Yeah.
wine and
And
friends.
people ask me and my husband, "Oh, what vineyards do you like in Virginia?" And we're always like, we don't really go to that many other we need to,
You're kind of
professional
busy.
curiosity. We need to get out there and go see what other people are doing. And, you know, but it's hard to leave when it's all right here on your doorstep.
Yeah. Well, and you're busy running it. you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
you're one foot in front of the other when you're, an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Building the train as it's going down the track is the way I've heard it described many times.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. You're right. It's like, just keep up. It's
Just
going
keep
to keep
going.
going, whether you want it to or not,
Uh-huh.
unless you
Exactly.
crash and you don't want that. So,
Crashing is not good. Oh, no, no. Well, okay. So wine and friends brings me to the fun question I like to ask at the end of my conversation. So
mm.
what's your favorite kind of wine? What's your favorite wine that you guys carry? What do you love to drink?
I really love our Calaboose, our Cab Sauvignon. I think it's great. I think it's really well balanced, and it is age worthy. So it's one that you could keep on your shelf for 5 years and drink. But you
Nice.
can also drink it now, which is nice. So I think we drink. Guy and I drink a lot of that. And do you know what? It's so boring, but our rosé is so popular, and everybody loves rosé.
hmm
Um, but if I'm not drinking wine, I'm a real gin and tonic girl.
Mm.
I
I
think
just
that
talked to
must be
someone
from my
who's,
days in England. Nice.
oh,
I love
sure.
nice G&T, but I like it with lemon, not lime.
Oh, interesting. Gonna have to try that. To me, gin and tonics go hand in hand with golf. A lot of things go
Oh,
hand in
okay.
hand with golf, but
Yeah.
swing oil,
Oh,
you got to
yeah.
have the right amount. But
Exactly.
but yeah, I'm going to try lemon next time just to see
Good.
what
Let me
it's
know
like.
what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so tell me about a fun time with friends over a nice glass of wine or a G&T.
Um, you know what? I just recently hosted a birthday party for myself, and it was a karaoke
Happy
party.
birthday.
Thank
It was
you.
a what?
Uh, Karaoke party.
Ah,
And that is
fun.
something that you need a glass of wine or a cocktail in order to participate.
Yes,
And I was like, oh, I don't know if people are going to get into it or not. It might be like, And suddenly the DJ never played any regular music because the queue for karaoke was so long. Everybody wanted to sing, whether they were good or not great or nervous or not nervous or old or young. My children sang about a million songs. It was super fun. And I was like, you know
I
what?
love it.
Probably wouldn't have been as much fun without that open bar.
No, absolutely not. The more you drink, the better I sound. So drink up,
So
people.
little liquid courage, you know? So that was a really fun time with a lot of glasses of a lot of different things.
I
A lot of
love
wine, a lot
that.
of beer, a lot of
I love
gin.
karaoke.
It was so we had a really, really good time.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. Okay. So Elizabeth, where can people find information
Elizabeth,
about Merrie Mill?
we've got a website, www.merriemillfarm.com. And we are on Instagram, Merrie Mill Farm and Vineyard. We're on Facebook. Join our mailing list to find out about the cool events we're doing, or check us out on Instagram.
Wonderful. Yes. And I can't wait to see you guys in July.
Same. It's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers.